Check, baby, check, baby, check 1, 2. This is an audio check. Let me know if you can hear me. Welcome, Fire Chicken, to the house. Congratulations on the Coinbase listing. Fire Chicken. Cumgar in the house. Crypto Mike, we're trying to get to our 30 needed chatters this month. And so between you and Chuck, I think with your alt accounts, maybe you can help us get those extra chats there. Everyone, Pedro will be with us tonight, but he's running late. He got socked in another part of the state of Connecticut. He's on his way back to his crib right now. All right, everybody, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. Hold on, just realized I didn't start YouTube. Oh, I did start YouTube. Look at that. Actually remembered to do something. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's the evening of January 26, 2026. It's the 26th of 2026. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show we call, that's right, the Space Lounge, ladies and gentlemen, the Space Lounge, the evening, more casual version of our daily talk show called DYOR Live, here on the DYOR Media Network. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In the evenings, we do a little bit more casual show. We talk more smack about stuff, less technical about things. But tonight we're going to be talking Bitcoin, as you might suspect, and gold, and this crazy thing behind me right here, which we call silver. Silver for ages looked like this. Nothing. Just beep, 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 beep. And now it looks like a meme coin. Rug pull. Nope. Whale bought back in. We'll be talking about that. And we'll be talking about the trades that I made today as I get back into the trading world, having spent a year here listening to Pedro, Master Friend, Crypto Lifer, and everybody else teach me the good ways of trading. Made 2 good trades today. I thought I'd explain to you today how I did them. Take a little time to do that. I'm going to do that at the beginning of the show because Pedro is probably not going to be here for a half hour or so. So I'll get that out of the way. Thanks everyone watching. You know what? I got to get the X feed going here. It's a show, typical show tonight. We're broadcasting to every outlet you can think of. And over here on my shoulder, have you not visited the guys from Infineon and their Moon or Dust media group and their Moon or Dust lunarpump.fun page and the whole ecosystem going on with Infineon? You better right now. Go over to their TG, just type in Infineon in TG and whatever. I should put a link in the body to them. See, there's the Moon or Dust logo. Go to moonordust.media, or actually go to lunarpump.fun. I think Chuck and someone else will put a correct link in the descriptions. Mike, I think you're able to put links because you're a mod. Go do that. They're very nice of us to let us advertise in their group. And of course, I like Sean and Matt and the crew over there. And of course, half our viewers come from their ecosystem too, so. That's right, I'm in Canada, but I am fortunate to have a little bourbon. Bourbon is banned in Canada right now. You can't import anymore for retail, but if you go to the duty free, you can get it cheap. Last week, drove back from the US to Kanukistan, went to the duty free at Windsor, got fuel for roughly, the regular fuel was $2 a gallon, premium was $3 a gallon, or last like $2.82 or something. And then you go inside and they have 4 bottles every week. It's different of booze that you can buy for $6. $6. So I got some Crown Royal Rye, $6. And then I went and bought a 175 of Woodford Reserve bourbon to bring in and drink it. And ooh, it goes fast. Woo! Anyway, because we've been having a lot of evening shows and I drink it on these evening shows. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Really appreciate everyone that's already watching here. Thank you for the people that have already tuned into X on us. Really appreciate that. If you're watching on X, only verified accounts can comment. At first I thought that was a hindrance. So I'd like more people to talk on X, but then I realized after the buffoonery going on over there, we're pretty much on X right now. Everyone is either a law enforcement procedure wizard, US constitutional law expert, firearms expert. All of a sudden, everyone's like experts at everything. Unlike me, I'm already an expert. Anyway, welcome X viewers. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna repost this here before we get started. Crazy day for silver. Let's tag Chris Pavlovsky too and Rumble. They're doing raids this week, Rumble Video. Make sure I only have Rumble in the link there. While we're broadcasting a number of spaces, we're using Rumble Studio as our main place because that is our home. That's why YouTube hates us. Let's see if I can get the great comment machine up front and center here. Crypto Mike 83p, thanks a lot. Yeah, I just checked and we have gone over 30. Gone over 30. So everyone, Kamuni, thank you. And 6 Bravo 9, thank you. And of course, Nitzy General, Nitzer General, and Niner Bravo. Mike and Kat, party is here. Thanks to Mike and Kat for joining us. Really appreciate it. I think that did it. How do you do that so fast, Mike? You claim to have all these problems after, getting blowed up in Afghanistan, but you're sharp as a tack. Let's see, what did we just... Yeah, we hit 30. Hit 31 as a matter of fact. So all good. Now we just got to get in some hours. And you can see because I've been talking for 15 minutes without saying anything. Yes, I'm waiting for my good friend Pedro Garcia to get here. Why, yes, I am. Let's turn the... All right, anyway, let's get into the heart of things. As all of you know that have been watching, I've spent the better part of the past year, relearning how to trade after my time in the 80s. That's right, 80s and early 90s too, doing trading and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to spare you the gory details of it tonight. But one of the things that I had to do over the past year was relearn my short-term trading strategies and my long-term trading strategies. I hadn't, except for demo mode, the past few months of 2025, I haven't been trading. I didn't have the guts to hold on to a trade long enough to make decent money. I only had the guts to make a few dollars in profit and then let my degen meme coin era brain think a rug pull was coming and just take my $25 profit. And after, working on the trade for 3 or 4 hours, I made less than minimum wage, made $5 an hour. It's not gonna work. So I had to learn longer term trades. I did that. You guys have heard me go over the monthly charts. We're going to go over exactly what happened in January here in a little bit after my trades, and we'll show you how it worked out in January once again. But let's hit up what I did today. Got up this morning looking at the markets, and I saw it. One of my trade setups, as I call it, the Sam Price special, showed up. Why is this not changing to the chart screen? There it is. But this is silver, ladies and gentlemen. This is silver. Up, had the blow off top. We'll go into silver in a little while. Let me get the Bitcoiners back up here. All right, I have 2 trades today. Both of the rectangles show that kind of the up areas in which I made the trades, and I'll go over them. Show you how they went well here. As you know, I like to follow the 200 period moving average here, and all morning, 6 o'clock on, and we were just going up and down, up and down, up and down over the 200 period moving average. And this is a 1 minute chart for a long period of time, and as we all know, when moving averages all move together, they can't do that for a while. Something's got to give, and the market's got to go up or down. And the market gave us a little fake out here. And I was just ready. I was a little skeeved out because it had been going going up and down over the 200 period moving average. That on the 1 minute chart, it went over the 200 period moving average. The 8 period came over here, and then the 21 period came over. That's usually my go sign to go long. But I held off because this had been going on for a while. And I said, it could be faking us out again. And sure enough, I was right. It went up and just boop, faked us right out. Why? What does Pedro say? He says, gotta make sure there's volume. there's no volume, it's not really going to move up, and the market makers are just going to do what they want. And sure enough, as soon as the volume came in, it was actually sell volume, and it dropped down here. And it dropped all the way down to here, and then started moving back up. And so I was like, all right, it's already done its kind of larger fake out here, and the volume is coming back in here, and it moved up right here. And so I said to myself, all right, watch it. If I were to flip over the 5-minute chart to look for a confirmation, it would be showing the very similar thing here. And the purple line here, 8-period moving average, 8-minute moving average, 1-minute chart, 21 comes up here, and I say, all right, it's time to get in. I put my stop in down here around, let's see, around 87.3 or something, right under this low here. At risk was about $60. Not a big trade at all. I'm slowly getting back into this. And I'm trading Bitcoin futures contracts on Robinhood, not on not perpetuals. Learning how to do that so I can talk the same language as Pedro. I don't have a big account to put into the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or prop firm that goes along with them, so Robinhood now works really good for that. And as you can see here, it came back down, bounced off the 200-period moving average. If it was going to go down that, I probably would have closed the trade out. But it bounced off it, and as soon as it bounced off it, I knew we were golden for a good pump. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I actually put a 4-for-1 trade in, which would have got us up to 89,750 or so. But it was coming up here. I got up to about 88.7 and change, and the volume started to go away again. If you notice right here, Pedro says, watch out for the volume. I watched out for the volume. Didn't like the volume. I didn't think it had the mojo to get up another 1,000 points or so. So I brought my sell limit order down. And then I don't remember where I brought it down to, but I got out at like 88.7. Anyway, made $60. I did a 1-for-1 instead of a 4-for-1, which I'll take. In that market. Not a lot of big drivers today. No numbers coming out, anything like that. Actually, I think durable goods were this morning or yesterday. It couldn't have been yesterday. That was Monday. And then I took part of the morning off to have a little breakfast, a little lunch, yada yada yada. And then came back for the afternoon sesh after lunch. Said, all right, what's going on? And guess what happens again? The 200-period moving average is in play again. The 1 minute came down, dumped off, high volume dump off here, and then started going back up over the 200-period moving average. Now, normally this is a little too close to it working again, but this liquidity suction event here, not a lot, but just enough, with some decent volume selling off, means it cleared out the orders in that rundown pretty well. So I said, all right, let's get back in. I got in right about the same time again. The price action, as you can see, came up here, right here. 8 period crossed and moved up. 21 period came and crossed over too. 21 period is still below the 8 period, all good here. The 50 period is going up as well. Stochastics were okay, not too high here, but volume wasn't great. So instead of trying to set out a 4-for-1, I set up a 2-for-1 again with the $60 on the trade, and I ran it up to here, and I thought to myself, I think it was about $100 in the plus here. I was like, okay, this is good. And then it started to come back down. You know what? I must have set it up for a 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 because I wouldn't have let it get up there. Started to come back down. The RSI started coming down again as well. And I was like, volume not great. See the volume here? Got to pay attention to it. Volume just wasn't enough. In fact, the volume picked up a little on the sells there. So I said, all right, I'm going to close it. I moved my stop up from way down here up to 88.5. Was that what it is, or something like that? Yeah, right about under the 21 period moving average here. And it clipped my stop, went down just a little bit, and then started up higher. And I was like, I choked off the trade. And I don't like trying to teach myself not to choke off the trade, but it turned out to be the right thing to do, because with no volume, the price started trending down again, and just kind of waffled until another little small pump this afternoon in early evening. And it's been, well, you know what? I haven't been paying attention to this. So 2 trades today, 2 successful trades. Both of them small. Still, as I said, getting my feet wet in it again. But 2 for 2 today. 4 for 4 for the year, which is good. Up about I don't know, $600-700 on trades. U.S. Speaking of, I don't know how many of you listen to the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast on YouTube, or on any. They're on Spotify. They're on, you name it. Their podcast is available. Joey and Len do a fantastic podcast. And they call it the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast because they're Canadian and they talk a lot of Canadian topics. But they also talk about their focus is Bitcoin. If you want to talk about XRP, they'll hit the ejection seat on you. But then they also talk about politics and in both Canada and the U.S. world events. What went on over at Davos and the various speeches by various people, good and bad. You name it, they hit on it. Very, very good podcast. Usually on once or twice a week. I believe they're always on Thursdays, and sometimes they're on Mondays as well. Good guests too. Those guys, both Joey and Lynn, are plugged into the Bitcoin community very well. But have a great show. Anyway, those are my 2 trades for today. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing this more often, talking about the trades, what worked for me. Right now, I have basically 3 trade setups that I look for that I can recognize right away. One of them is really easy, the super dump. And when you think it's at the low, right when there's no more demand wicks, as Pedro says, you buy. You don't put in a big order. You just put in a nice small order. You can see it happening. Usually it's when these moving averages are moving all together. Starts to roll down a little bit, and you're like, I think it's gonna dump. All of a sudden, the big supply wick, and then 2 or 3 5-minute candles in a row, and it drops down $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Always a good time to get in at the bottom of those and ride it back up a little bit, or a lot. So the super dump is one of my trade setups. The other one is the money printer. The money printer is when it generally happens in the morning when London is still trading. New York opens up, so you have both the London and the New York guys trading at the same time. And the liquidity for both is a lot. But it's getting towards the end of the day in London, and traders want to close out their positions. And sometimes they want to close out their positions the same time New York is getting sell signals. And so you'll see a pretty big dump off in the morning, and you're like, oh, they're scamming us. Market manipulation. Well, yeah, that happens a lot, but a lot of times it's also London wanting to close their sales or close their long positions. And then New York getting sell signals from other things, like numbers coming out of the Fed or something like that, or out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and that type of stuff. And it kind of matches up. You get a big dump off. And what happens is it dumps off enough is that now London's out of the market. The guys are closed, done. The New York guys are all short, and the market's still dumping off a lot, so they all make profits. And they buy back, close their positions off, drive the market up. And what happens is that I would bring up a nice example of it, but I'll do that on another day. It comes back up and then does a Fibonacci retracement down to the 786 deviation. And then once it hits that with a demand wick and some volume, and then it just rockets up almost every time. But there's a lot of there's 5 things that had to happen in a row there. It has to be a dump off in the time that London and New York are open together. It has to have a recovery and then mini sell-off back to the 786 or close there, deviation. And the volume has to be there and the demand links have to be there. And when it does, it's called the money printer. Why? Because it prints money. prints money, and a lot of times it takes the whole rest of the trading day in New York to really go. Usually within a half hour, you can make some money. But if you got the cojones, you can let it ride through the whole day, and it works. And then the last one that I've got my mind programmed to see is the 200 period, as I call it, the Sam Price special, because I learned it from Sam, Crypto Lifer. I've asked him to be on our show again. Got to get back to him about that. Just what I was telling you about, the 200 period moving average. And that one happens pretty much every day on at least the 1 minute time frame. And I like it when it happens on the 5 and 15 minute time frame because it's a much longer time frame. And I like it to pay off on those longer trades because it's less volatile. Anyway, let's take a quick break for some social media. Welcome everyone. Please comment, like, subscribe, repost, follow, like, I already said that. Chat. Just do it. Still not working on X. I don't know why this does not work on X. But if I post it to X, it works. All right, well, the X comment machine is working. But it's not, I had to manually post it there. Anyway, let's see how the X numbers have done since I reposted it. Mm-hmm. 26 people on X. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate that. I'm going to use our DYOR account to repost it, hopefully drag in a few more of you suckers. For everyone watching on X, you know that X really doesn't have everything tuned up for being able to watch things easily. If you're watching on your desktop, right-click on our tweet, open up in a new window, put us on a new monitor, and watch us. We need help with X. X is going to take over things because Elon, when he puts his mind to something, you can tell when he's focusing on X. There's all of a sudden a whole bunch of good changes happen. But their broadcasting has been a little bit behind the scenes here. Let's see if we can like that. Yes, we did. But if you're watching on X, give us a like. Oh, look, it even says we've had 30 viewers. All right. What happens if I refresh the page 300 times? Nope, that doesn't change. Anyway, thank you to everybody watching on X. Really appreciate it. Remember, this is an interactive show. Go ahead and ask some questions. Pedro will be with us shortly. I know a bunch of you guys are waiting to hear from him to hear what he thinks about Bitcoin. Or crude oil, copper, gold, all the things that he's good at. In fact, why don't I check in on him? He says, running late, I'll be there. All right. All right, let's, I told you about the day. The day was good, positive day, can't complain. Made better than minimum wage. If any of you had any good trades today, let me know. Or looked at good projects, something like that. If you had a losing trade, you want me to look at it. Let's do that. Okay, here, Bitcoin on the 1 hour. Let's just take a quick analysis of Bitcoin. That's the 1 hour. Let's look at the 15-minute. Oh, that's interesting. All right, here's the model playing out on the 15-minute. Oh, well, that was the 15-second. No, not the 15-second. That means it should be getting close on the 1 minute. Oh, no. The 1 minute has been going on for a while. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that tonight. Yeah, look. Here, the 1 minute, 200 period moving average SAM price special is going on right here since 4:30 today. Let's see. So the 1 minute it worked out well. Let's look at the 5 minute. 5 minute working out well too. This was a good trade, and I missed it this afternoon. You know, I was talking about Bitcoin on a Rumble Premium episode here, trying to get in a few hours. Here it's going on in the 15-minute. You don't see it that often doing that. You get the 1 minute, and it's validated. 5 minute one, it's validated. 15 minute here, price actions above the 200 period moving average. You see it. It gave it a shot here. Came right back down on the heavy sell-offs. Once again, this was this morning on the open. 9:30. 2 o'clock came, had a little blow off top in the 15-minute, came back down, recovered, and now it's on its way back up. Declining volume a little. Asia's open now. So it'll be interesting if it can hold this. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour still has a long way to go for it, but this is this. All right, this purple line here is the 100 period moving average. We've seen that on the 1 hour it bounced off the 100 period moving average quite a lot. Or like here, it pierced it, but didn't close above it. Well, I guess it did a little bit there. Not without strength though. Here it bounced off it again. Here bounced off it again. Here is got 23 minutes left, and we'll see what it can do to get above that or not. But anyway, so that's what's going on now. If it breaks this 100 period moving average, might need to go long. All right, now let's look at the monthly. This is January. January Bitcoin. Now, let's put the Bitcoin price up there. Twitch viewer, Toller, Bled, whatever. I'm not doing that. Thank you for the engagement. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the follow, but I will not be taking your suggestion. And since you're selling it, I'm guessing a lot of other channels do take your suggestion. But I'm not paying for views over there. Thanks, though. I appreciate it. Anyway, this is January in this box, ladies and gentlemen. If you watched the DYOR Premium session earlier today on Rumble, I went over this in detail about all the way back to August, and the amount of weeks we're getting correct in predicting as I learn how to look at longer time frames. Quick summary here today. January, the first week. January pumped up in the first week pretty well. Time-based trading, right? The candle for the month has to do certain things. It has to have a supply wick, a body, a demand wick. I'm gonna beat this into your heads because it had to be beaten into mine for me to get it. It took me like 6 to 8 months before I went, oh, duh, I wasn't processing things right. Anyway, that means for every candle created, the monthly candle has to have open, high, low, and close. Has to have a demand wick, body, and a supply wick. Doesn't have to, but 95% of them do on monthly candles. Maybe more, maybe 99%. So that means generally what happens is the way the month comes in, it goes out because it wants to make all those candles, or all the wicks. And so month opened higher. Pedro and I said, all right, the month is going to end lower. And we've been talking about 74,000 for a couple of weeks now, a couple months actually. And so I drew the arrow down here just to represent that it could be a big sell-off here. And if there's gonna be a big sell-off at the end of the month, the week before, it's gotta go up. I got to go up, grab liquidity, and then blast it down. And if it's going to go up then, it's going to go down before that. And that makes sense. After the opening week up, people took profits and it came down a little. See, it just kind of came down, bounced off the 200 period moving average just on a monthly. I think this is a 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, just like I like it to happen on the 1-minute chart. When it does that, boop, goes up, you get a nice little bounce. So January has essentially worked out. I mean, I know there's 5 days left in January. Only 4 total trading days left. 7th, 8th, 9th, 30th, 31st. 5 trading days left. In the market can do anything in 5 days, but likely it's going to peter off here. If gold and silver still stay hot, Bitcoin has a larger chance of petering off because it absorbs so much money from the market. The market cap of gold and silver is so much greater than Bitcoin. Like very small percentage move, like a 3% move in gold is all of Bitcoin. Like the gold market cap now is 40 trillion or something like that. I think the gold market cap is now more than the U.S. gross domestic product, which has implications for reserve currency status. Brando Commando in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. I sold some silver to buy the crypto dip. The question is, when did you sell the silver? Did you sell it last week? 2 weeks ago? 10 minutes ago? An hour ago? 4 hours ago? Makes a difference. Big difference. We had a big move in silver today. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Brando Commando. I really appreciate it. Pedro will be on in a little bit. Again, month of January here went exactly according to plan. I made all of these arrows on January 8th. Everyone. And it worked out. Boop, 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 boop. Pedro Damas, Tomo Damas. Did I just hear Pedro in the background? I did. I did hear him. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Garcia will be with us in just a moment. Pedro, I hear you coming on. I'll wait for you to get settled and started here before I bring you on. Brando Commando, good job. However, I hope you did not buy like XRP and Cardano and stuff like that. Hope you didn't buy Bitcoin either, because Bitcoin's going down. Hope you were judicious on what you bought in the crypto world. Let's see, where are we here? All right, I'm going to take this opportunity to do an ad. What do we got here for the ad? Let me look at the my auction spot, and I tell advertisers how much I want to pay. All right, we're gonna do a $17.75 coffee here while Pedro gets ready. All right, Pedro, we're gonna do an ad first there, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, have you still not tried a $17.75 coffee? Now's your shot. The $17.75 starter kit just dropped. Well, it didn't just drop, it's been dropped now for a while, but they only made 1,000 of these special collections of their coffee. In these special collections, you get three types of coffee and a bunch of swag. The 3 types of coffee you get the bold dark roast that hits hard, you get the smooth medium roast, and you get the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash, nope. It's all single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free, plus you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. You're getting a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. That's right. You're getting a black $17.75 tumbler. Get $170 worth of coffee and swag, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching $17.75 blow up right here on Rumble and DYOR. Why do we know this? Because our viewers have said, we've bought that, Tom. It's good stuff. In fact, I haven't. I need to get some. You're probably wondering, is it worth it? It is. Our viewers have said it. It is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble and DYOR does. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Over here, there's a QR code right here. If you're watching on your big screen TV, hold your cell phone up to that, pop a picture of it, put your eyeballs on our advertisers. It would really help Pedro and I out if you just do that and show them that we have an interactive audience, not bots like some of those big crypto shows on Rumble. Jerks. Anyway, if you're watching on your cell phone or your tablet, there is a Learn More button. Go ahead and click that. If you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for doing so. In the description, there's a link to 1775coffee.com. And thank you to 1775coffee.com for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you... Oh, no, he's still not there. Hold on. No, I hear your audio, Pedro. I just don't see your camera or anything. Let me bring your mic up here, and we'll get it when you can.
There's always that joke, if you want to really know how much snow is going to happen, take what the weatherman says, divide it by 2, and then take that and minus that by another 12 inches, and you're good. Nope, that was wrong this time. I got snowed in, literally, and we're talking almost 2.5, 3 feet. And the apartment complex I was hanging out at, they didn't adequately prepare. So it just...
2 to 3 feet.
Yeah.
You know what?
2.5, bro, it was up to above my knees. So that's easily 2 feet. I had a shovel.
That's a lot of snow. And let me guess, it wasn't the lightest snow either. It was probably, let me guess, it was heavy stuff.
No, actually, it was the lightest snow. It really was light, dude. Saved my back. Like, I had to, and then I had to help another person there, this older man.
I know, you never just shovel your own car. It's like every old lady on the street.
Really, yeah. Yeah, that was real.
Yep.
And this lady, had to help her. I could tell that. I mean, she was maybe a $110, like 5 foot, nothing, trying to snow up. Like, oh, so I just dropped.
Brando, we are.
And helped like 3 people out, and then was trying to
Pedro,
get out.
I lived two of the biggest storms that I ever lived through were in Connecticut. They were the blizzards of 77 and 78. They were massive. They dumped a weeping willow tree in our front yard and pulled our power lines out. We had to go live in the junior high for a week.
Oh, sounds like fun.
And then we had saved like 3 years worth of one of the other storms. We had saved like 3 years of New York Times Sunday editions, the old ones when they were like massive. And we burned newspapers. We ran out of firewood, burned newspapers for like 4 days, and the house just stank. And because when you burn a lot of newspapers, it's not good, all that ink. And especially in the old days when the ink was like all lead filled and stuff like that. And
that makes sense now.
It was brutal. And our little neighborhood had this big hill on it, so they had to have front end loaders come and dig. This was the 70s, so everyone's like, every city job was mostly mob oriented and connected, and nobody actually did anything. And all of a sudden, they had to work really hard to dig everybody out, and it was a disaster. Brando Commando says, quick question, you kids playing predictions? That's what we do every day here.
Every day.
We don't tell you where it's going to go. Generally, Pedro joins in the lines and say, here's a liquidity level that it's likely to come back to.
Oh.
Not necessarily the highs. Pedro's been calling Bitcoin 250 to 300,000 for a couple of years now, and one of these years he'll be right. But in the meantime, he's making lots of money with his liquidity levels. I got super burned on Coinbase playing predictions. Oh, you're talking about the predictions market, like Polymarket, that type of stuff? All you got to know is, just remember, the NBA is rigged because they arrested a bunch of the guys that got infected by the mafia. And so if the NBA is rigged, the NBA is rigged, you know something else is too. Maybe baseball, probably football too. You know, if they're getting coaches in the NBA arrested for throwing games, that means it's likely going to happen in the NFL too. You know, if you got burned on elections, like, well, I bet on Kamala Harris, then you deserved it. Yeah, the prediction market's hard. Especially, I don't know what the fee structure is on Coinbase. I don't know how much, you know, you actually clear and stuff like that.
Brando Commando.
Brando sold some silver and he bought some XRP, but also a little of my alt money makers. I don't know how much they've been making you money the past couple of months. But if you're DCAing, then, you know, just keep at it. You used a bunch of house money to DCA. Nothing wrong with that. You know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. He made a bunch of money in silver and DCA'd into other things that might go down by 99%. So. Just kidding. XRP is not going to go down by 99%. But until Brad writes off XRP and gives it back to the foundation and stops selling XRP tokens to make their payroll, it's going to be a tough one. Tough one. Pedro, what's happening, my friend?
Nothing much. How you doing? How was your weekend?
Good. Pedro, I had the in-laws in, and they were in. They came in for a birthday, and this was the best part. There were lots of good times. We had a great time. We went to an Irish pub on Sunday and had a nice Guinness and listened to a band and that type of stuff. Had a good time. But nice. on Friday when I did the show, I don't remember if you were on or not, but I did a 1775 coffee commercial. And you know how it used to say, and stirs up your mother-in-law's political opinions. They got rid of political, and they just say it stirs up your mother-in-law's opinions. My mother-in-law was standing right here. And during that part, I turned and pointed to her and said, and stirs up your mother-in-law's opinion. It was really good. It was a good time. But anyway, Mrs. Striking's parents, my in-laws, were in town for a birthday. They had a nice time. They come here and visit us in Ottawa, kind of as like a getaway from the comings and goings of busy Toronto. And they had a nice relaxing time. So we did too. We had a lot of fun.
I was there on Friday because I was expecting the market to sell off or to go up and then sell off after it hit about 100,000, and it kept going all the way up to 118, and then it sold off.
That's silver. You're looking at XRP now, but that silver chart looks like a meme coin chart.
Yeah.
We finally, Pedro, you've been saying there's going to be a blow off top here at any point. And today there was. Today there was at about 117, 118, depending on what chart you're looking at. We had the blow off top. That make myself too big here.
It's real interesting because the system itself, just the U.S. dollar, everything that's happening with it.
Look at this chart. This is ridiculous for a precious metals chart.
So if you go,
something big is happening, and we're not in on it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we kind of are.
We're the center of all things financial.
We've talked about it going up to 60 and then potentially triple digits for a while now. But the biggest difference is that this market, the fact that China is not removing its hold on silver, the fact that AI is getting better and better and they need more silver. There's so many demands for it that it's just not gonna go away. I mean, I can't believe, man, that today it gapped up, came down in the evening to 101, filled the gap, and then it went all the way to, what is it, 117. That is 17% move.
I know, it's crazy in silver.
One day. And then it gaps down and goes up. That move.
And look at the volume. The volume's nuts.
Look, like I say with meme coins, you know, if you're playing this, right, and I know we have a couple of our guys here who got in down at that 68 60 area. Who was one of our viewers? Because I talked about silver and I said I like this area down in here. And then
was it Roland Rod?
Roland, was that you, bud?
I don't know if he's on right now, but
right, meow. How about meow? You ever heard of that? Meow?
Meow?
No, you don't remember? It's Super Troopers.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the best movie if you haven't seen it, or show. Well, I guess it was a movie, and then it turned it more into a show, right? Now I'm second guessing myself. A minute. But let's check out some things here. Okay, we're watching this happen here in real time, like as we speak. And what you guys don't see is that the actual futures, the SI futures, SI.
Guys, I'm playing a different song that I don't. Most of the other songs we play all the time, I just know the levels by looking at them. This one I don't know. If it's too loud, let me know. I don't think I'm playing it for Pedro. Pedro, let me know if that's too loud for you.
Oh, it's perfect. Look at this right here. Oh, it doesn't have it here too. Oh.
Now you're open for silver. Is that CME open or Asia open? Or COMEX open? Is it New York time open or is it the Asia open?
But here's the thing. So let's it's a false candle, it looks like. So that's interesting. Oh my goodness. They have a false candle. Let me know if your candle looks like this. It shouldn't look like this. All right, so it shows that it closed right here, right? It opened right here, and it closed right here. Right, so this is where it closed.
What's your time frame there?
This is the daily. Yeah, this is the daily chart.
Mine shows. Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
Feels like yesterday, a gap up, slight, small. I mean, very small gap up on the open. This is I'm looking at the COMEX chart.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, I mean it's like 50 cents. Here. The gap up. You know what? Yeah, this mine here. Like I'm gonna bring up my chart here. Mine's not right either. Like nothing.
It's all messed up. How many people are gonna get screwed over by not paying attention to this?
Yeah, see the close.
See the huge sell-off. The close is right here.
Close 103.890. That's where I am.
Should be so basically it should be a big doji, a big dragonfly.
Yeah, well, it could have gapped open, but you know what really gapped open was gold. Gold.
Yeah,
gold went back
it did gap open
too.
It gapped up and then came down, and then now it's starting to go up. Oh man, I
have gold on my chart. Here, look at this. This is gold, and this is silver. Same.
Yeah.
Like same thing.
Yeah. They're trying to screw people over.
Well,
They're trying to get people to buy.
they're trying to get people to buy. That means open a short.
Mhm. That is crazy, man. Look at this. I mean, look at the trajectory. This was a huge push. That is a juggernaut. Like that looks like Bitcoin in 2017.
Right.
Like no joke. Like okay, let's take this picture. And BTC.
Brando says, on my trading view, silver looks like it's fake and gay.
Yeah.
Like you're getting any moment ready for the devs to run off with the liquidity. And be like, oh, devs working really hard. Devs are building. They're building. Pfft, poof, gone.
Fair.
That's when you knew that it was a scam, when they said the devs were building. The devs don't do anything. Once they launch the contract, there's like you can do some marketing. Generally, just go to Ibiza.
This one here is 2017.
But why buy on the top of a giant green candle? Yes, sir. Very difficult. You gotta like all the planets have to align in that rare time when to buy on top of a green candle. It's very risky. Very risky.
Thing is it could keep going. I legitly.
I know it could go to 150. It could go to 150.
My
and
target
not have
is
a
160.
pullback. Yep, totally. And then you're sitting there waiting for the pullback, and you're like, "Fuck, I missed it all." But you never got wrecked, and it's better to miss out on gains than get wrecked, right? Preserve your capital. What the hell? Why am I all jacked up here?
Tight stop, man. Have a real tight stop. Damn. And then Bitcoin right here. Look at it. Let's check out Bitcoin here real quick. Do some TA here. All right, so it looks like it keeps staying and playing off of that 8-period moving average here. See, he came down, tapped it, came back down over the weekend, trying to climb back up. Going for that 84,000 here. So, as you can see here, if we're already going up for the evening, which means it's probably going to go down here. Sunday down, Monday up. Got liquidity right here. We tap this here. Tap it right here. Sitting right there. Potentially coming back down, tapping that 85,000 and into tomorrow. As we come down. What's going on with news?
I've got a couple stories here. Haven't looked. Give me 1 second. I'm typing.
All right. While Tom is doing that, let's go ahead and go over some of this stuff. Love hearing your guys' take on precious metals. Brando Commando, BC. Tell me why. I want to know why you like hearing. Obviously, we've called quite a bit of stuff, right? You guys been there with us, especially during the inauguration. Remember you, bud. But why do you like hearing it? One is because just we're accurate at the chart itself. I think from a fundamental standpoint, I suck and I try to get good, but I'm still growing in this. But from a charting standpoint, I think I see things pretty clearly. So I would love to know your thoughts. Why you think is it more because we're funny? Tell Pedro I sold my silver at the top and bought XRP. Oh my man! So it was you. You're the one who listened to us, right?
Discount. Still not at a discount.
And we'll go check out XRP. But I'm glad you bought it, at least down when it's close to that $1 mark, right? I hope you're staking it and making some cash from it. Can you do me a favor? Can you broaden that picture of me to kind of center me out? I know I keep switching back and forth. Let me keep that right there. There we are. Let's broaden it.
There you are in the center.
All right, and then pull me back to
Yeah,
the
hold
chart.
on. I hit the wrong button there.
All right, Brando
Come
Commando,
on,
BC.
computer.
So talk to me, brother. What is it that you like about it? I really want to know, because here's the thing. I want to keep drawing people in, and I want to bring you guys more good content, right? Obviously, I'm always going to do TA. We're going to go over stuff, obviously I don't want to brag, so I just won't do that. But I want to bring more of what you guys like, and also be truthful, right? That's my biggest stick, is I just want you guys to have real good TA on which way the markets are moving, or I perceive the markets are moving, right? So we've been talking about that liquidity hitting that 120, coming back down. We talked about these two liquidity areas of coming down, especially during the holidays, right? Going in between here, and then I said it, I might expect it to come up into that 100,096 area, and then coming back down to that 80, and potentially I really feel that 75,000, potentially 67,000 before we see a huge push. And just remember, I'm looking at it from a 3-month market, or the 3-month candle, right, is how I'm seeing it. So we went up to come down. We're bouncing off of that 8-period moving average, sitting right here. You can see here, right here, boom. And then now we're pushing up. So for me, I would like it to come down and put this yearly candle in at the beginning of the year here. And so I'm looking at the 3-month mark here, which is we're still in the 6-month, or we're still in the first month period for the year. And so you can see we went up, get some sellers, and now we're coming back down. And we can hit this area here, or potentially right here, right? That's a pretty good it's a pretty good market, or it's a pretty good wick for the year here. We're talking, if you look at that wick, we come down to here, we stop everybody out from last year sitting right here, right? Or we stop them out barely, boom, they may push it up, or do this type of thing and then push it up, right? Obviously that's the year, but that's what I would love to see, right? Is on a 3-month mark, this is what I would love to see here. Boom.
Oh, Pedro's internet connection died. Pedro. Oop, now I died. Oop. All right, hold on. Let me get. Pedro's looking at Bitcoin. Let me bring up the Bitcoin chart. Pedro, unfortunately, has been suffering from an internet connection drop. Pedro. Pedro, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Look at your ears. Look at the screen. Still talking. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Let me use the broadcast software. Sorry there, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro hasn't looked at our broadcast message here for a little bit. How skeptical should we be on metal charts in unprecedented waters? Here's our dilemma, Brando, is that we're at our highs here in gold and silver. And I would imagine if we looked at palladium or platinum and that type of stuff, we would see
did you
the
lose
same
me?
things. Yeah, about a minute ago.
Well,
hold on, I'm just answering Brando Commando. Brando asked about how skeptical should we be of metal charts in unprecedented waters, and what I was telling him was that We're at our highs now, and generally anytime we're at our highs in something, we're skeptical. However, we've been at our highs in gold and silver now for a year. And it hasn't relented. There had been small pullbacks, but it's been going up. And here is the issue that I found out about from a guy named Andy Sheckman. Andy had pointed out that for the past 15 months on the commodities, the gold and silver commodities exchange, the COMEX, somebody or more than one person or group or country or whatever has been buying a ton of gold and silver for delivery. Now, trillions of dollars get traded every month on these commodities exchanges. And historically, very small amounts have been taken for delivery. They're just speculation contracts, up, down, maybe some hedging, that type of stuff. I used to work on the commodities exchange in New York, and we would very rarely take an order. I remember, I think I only took one order in 6 years of working there for the gold that said for delivery. Couple for crude oil, none for coffee, sugar, cocoa. And they're like for delivery, and they make you repeat it back. They're like, what did you write on the ticket? I said, I wrote for delivery. They said, make sure you enter it in the computer that way too. This is all handwritten shit. And so, and now, I think Andy said in December, 99% of the contracts that closed at the end of the year, that didn't close out just by, if you were long by selling, or if you were short by buying, 99% of the open contracts didn't close out worthless, they closed out for delivery. And that's billions of dollars per month for the past 15 months. And I'm not spreading some kind of rumor or saying anything's crazy. This is published information that it doesn't say who, but the exchanges put how much they put for delivery. Millions of ounces of silver and gold. And that's unprecedented. So can the price keep going up? Of course it can. Can the price crash? Of course it can. The problem is that it's really hard to figure it out because the trend is still up. The trend is still up. It's been going up for a year. And the narrative around the world right now is very anti-US and anti-US reserve currency. So central banks, everyone's talking about buying more gold and more silver. And for the first time, like I mentioned earlier, for the first time in a long time, I believe the market cap, Pedro, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, market cap for gold is at least as high as the US GDP and US debt. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal.
You're saying $30 trillion? Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Let me check here real quick.
I may be off by like 10 trillion because I'm speaking extemporaneously here, but it was like, gold was like 15 trillion at $2,000 or something like that. So could it be close? Oscar Ramos joining us from X.
What's up,
Oscar?
brother?
Been a while since we've spoken. You know what? We
you.
talk XRP. We you know what? This is what happened. We pissed on XRP for a minute, and Oscar was like, oh, must fix this. Join the stream.
All right, but real quick, let's we can bullshit, but just give me a second because I really want to talk about this because I think this is really important from a charting standpoint. What we're seeing here, right? I think it's really important because this big push with silver and what's happening with gold, from a fundamental standpoint, there is a lot of demand. One, because of the turmoil aspect behind what's actually happening, right? This is really, really important. That the rest of the world, even though they can't, and I think, Tom, you talk about this and ad nauseum, and I think it's really important to talk about this ad nauseum, is you really cannot get off the US dollar system because of the liquidity of the US dollar and the fact that you can easily, and everybody trusts the US dollar. And I get it. We are huge in debt. I hit the debt all the time. But in all reality, there isn't anything with the railroads and the system to be able to handle the gigantuous amount of volume that gets traded in the USD. There's just nothing out there. I mean, crypto right now, I think in 15 years, yes, absolutely. 15, 20 years, absolutely. I think we'll definitely see things where it will be able to rival what the USD is doing. But as of right now, nobody's going to take a yen trade. Nobody's going to take or nobody's going to buy a bunch of yen. Nobody's going to buy a ton. If anything, they're getting rid of it, right? We're watching that actually happen right now. Nobody's going to buy yuan. Nobody's going to buy the ruble, right? Like, they're just not. Nobody's going to buy the rupee because of the liquidity aspect for you to go in. Nor do you trust those governments that are going to switch. Now, the only people we've ever taken money from is Russia, right? Or we've taken a lot of money from a lot of people. But from a standpoint of, like, we take it from a government, like, pissing on you, right? Standpoint, not like an individual meanness, right? That we can sit there and we do things like that, unless you're Donald Trump and they want to debank them. But the reason why I'm saying this is that there are only two other things that we can actually do that. And do me a favor, Tom, can you go make sure you get that market cap on gold correct, and also silver for me? Is that, and I want to hit home here because this is really important. The only thing that can rival the USD in case everything falls apart, okay? And this is really important. The US stock market falls. If everything else falls apart, is gold and silver, right? Like, those are the only things that will be able to hold it, right? You can sit there and say, I've got gold and silver, boom. And everything falls apart. Remember, we are the best smelling shit sandwich in the whole entire world. Right? And I hate to use those words and I hate to curse there, but it's just the truth. We are the best smelling hog that's running around, that's rolling in a shit pile, right? And the reality is everybody's in debt. You just look at China. China is just extreme. What?
Sorry, Grok stopped working again. Drives me nuts when it.
Yeah, just use
I'm going back to
GPT.
Copilot.
Yeah, it's just a second. You can just pull it up real quick. And so because of that, this is why I feel like everybody knows, not everybody knows, but everybody's expecting a huge market crash. They just are. And so this is why I think we're seeing everything run into gold and silver. But when everything falls apart, everybody and their mother from all other nations are going to want to buy US assets. I don't care what they say. Listen, Canada is not going to buddy up with next to China over this whole entire tariff deal. They're just not, because they're two fundamentally culturally different mindsets, right? 80% of the people in Canada are Western mindset. They're not going to be okay with China coming in and saying, you know what, we don't like the fact that you have a bunch of Christians and a bunch of Muslims who were literally right-wing crazies. So we're gonna put them in a concentration camp or a labor camp, right, or re-education camp, right, which they have ongoing. And Biden has mentioned this multiple times when he was actually asked about would he do major business with China. So these are those things that, regardless of it, this is where I'm seeing that. This is why I'm seeing gold. This is why I'm seeing silver. This is why we're seeing this big old huge push behind these movements here. So we're going to check out gold here for a second, even though
Pedro,
it's all messed
on
up.
my screen,
Yeah.
I took over the screen for a minute. I've got, according to this website here, gold is at $35 trillion now.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
so
a
it is.
big move. Last time we looked at it, it was less than half of that. Silver at 6.1 trillion.
That's really good.
Gosh, it's listing. This list is just the top most valuable things in the world. And the top
jump
two
back.
are now gold and silver. Silver's bigger market cap than Nvidia, and Google, and Apple.
So silver is how much trillions compared to gold?
6
trillion to 35 trillion
Yep.
market cap.
5 to 1.
That is the 5 to 1. That's exactly what we've been looking for. 5 to 1 market cap. That's what we want to see, the actual ratio. That's a huge deal, because it did a 500x, 600x. So now that we're at that 100 mark here, I would expect to see it either scale or both go up in tandem. Like that, either scale down together or scale up together, which I think we'll see it scale up, because a lot of people are expecting a crash here. I mean, Trump is trying to avoid it. When you look at what he's trying to do in the housing market, well, I know, guys, I've talked about housing ad nauseum here, but we go over that number because it's an important number when you look at the U.S. economy and what generates basically jobs. Is when people buy houses, they fill those houses with things. And everything that you fill a house with is what stirs up the U.S. economy. So if you could see a huge housing push, i.e., one, stopping the big institutions from buying large, obviously it's not BlackRock, right? Because BlackRock doesn't buy direct housing, right?
Right.
Obviously.
No, we don't have any single family houses on our books.
No,
we just 69 sub companies and hidden LLCs that do. I don't know what you're talking about there. Guys, we're going to send a cease and desist letter.
Exactly. But I mean, it's really interesting to see Trump literally fighting against the banks, which I think is crazy. But jumping back here to the point here is that Trump is saying, stop buying the single family homes, especially your affiliates out there. 2, we want to make sure that if we can lower rates and increase the volume. He even said, he's like, I don't want to drop your current money or the current housing value, but you've got to let the next generation get in, right? Unless you're going to give them your house, which most grandparents aren't going to do that, or even parents, like you can stay in the house, right? But we're not going to give you the house, so I think them adding more supply to the homes, in addition to that, keeping out people from buying it. And then if we see a slowdown in the economy, which is what we're seeing with jobs over the next 3 months, then this is where this crash comes in. So this is what we're watching right now. And again, I don't buy the numbers on the GDP of I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Right. But what Ludnick is talking about, a 5% growth in the first quarter, like not year, in the quarter.
Well, our durable goods came out, and let's see, core durable goods. I expect the forecast, durable goods orders month to month. The forecast was 3.1%. Actual came in at 5.3%. That was today at 8:30.
Increase or decrease?
Increase. 5.3% increase in durable goods. I know. That's amazing. That's a lot.
That's phenomenal. It's actually really
Pedro,
phenomenal.
Hold on a second, Pedro, quickly. Oscar, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Pedro, I asked Oscar to join us one day here to talk about XRP and Ripple and what's new for them and what's coming, because we don't really... We talk smack about XRP a lot, but we don't really understand the ecosystem for XRP and Ripple and stuff like that. So, and he obviously talks about it at length every day.
Yes.
Bring him Oscar, thanks a lot. I'll DM you and we'll have you on a show soon enough. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar Ramos in the house. No, he doesn't. Mr. XRP himself. Like I said, he probably heard us talking smack, and he's like, wait a minute. My XRP superpowers, super hearing, he's like, boop, boop, boop. Striking's not talking good about XRP.
That's funny. My brother, he's cool. We hung up with him a couple years ago over at the
Blockchain Futurist Convention.
Yep, Blockchain Futurist. He was a good guy. I liked him. Real good dude. I was talking mad smack about everybody talking about XRP, and I was like, y'all are crazy. Like, I was the contrarian. Shocking, right? But I mean, good dude, good guy. I want to grab a drink with you one day, man, and hang out, talk a bunch of BS. But let's talk about this here real quick so that I can finish up the thought here. So for gold to really climb up here, look, it's already slamming. I mean, look at this monthly candle. It's crazy. And they're going to sit there and push us even higher. So if they do, expect next month, because we're on the last week here, I expect to see some profit taking here, okay? Because we're on the last week here, right? So I expect to see it go up first thing and then kind of see a sell-off to come off. Because, I mean, they have made juggernauts of money here. I mean, it is redunculous here. I mean, from 4,300 all the way to literally 5,100. I mean, that is nuts. That's 10, 20. That's almost 25%. Go ahead.
Just think of the value increase of the really large holders. And really large holders in gold make the really large whales in Bitcoin look like little chump change, peasants from India. Right? Yeah, ants. Exactly. I mean, the people that hold a lot of gold, are like the United States, Russia, China, India.
Russia, China, yes.
But even private institutions, JP Morgan report, has,
reserves.
Rumors have that they have $1 trillion in gold, but it's probably many $100 billion worth, and it's gone up. It's doubled in the past year. Or even their silver, that's done 5x. 5x in a year. I mean, when was the last time Bitcoin did a 5x?
Yeah, at the juggernaut level of what it's sitting at. Like, imagine if it did. Like, what I'm expecting it for it to do to hit 250, that's only doubling it. Well, compared to now, what is that? It's down to 80. So 80, 160. Triple. Okay, that's almost making it triple. Like, it might be. But even
Pedro,
then, I mean...
Sorry, hold on. Oscar says, Pedro, I remember you had way more hair.
Yeah, man, got rid of it, bro. Got rid of it.
For you new viewers, he's not referencing Pedro getting a larger forehead like I am, because Pedro is not. Pedro had like Fabio style hair. I mean, he was like
down to my ass.
Shit was long. Yeah, he was like, I'm Pedro. Whoosh, whoosh. But he altruistically cut it and donated it to the cancer patient hair people and stuff like that. So, but now he looks somewhat normal. He was looking some days you were Fabio, some days it was homeless Pedro.
Down by the river.
In the van, down by the river.
Oh man, yeah. Depending on the day, depending if I got up and was able to hit the gym, and then one of the days whether I did or didn't.
Brando Commando says, "Sorry, I flooded the chat." You don't flood the chat. Trust me, it's all good. We love engagement and we love the conversation.
Come here. Ever say that, man? That's not how we roll. You flood. Because we like it. We like engagement. We love you guys.
Yeah, especially, if you have a whole bunch of comments and they're all, 90% of them are stupid, we'll pick out the 10% that are good and talk about it.
I don't even care. We'll make fun of you and hope you laugh as well and make fun of us. It'll be fun.
Oscar, thanks for joining us. He says, for sure, have a good time soon. See ya. All right, thanks, Oscar, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar Ramos, the famous XRP hopium man himself.
Oscar Ramos, ¿qué pasa, señor? But what I think was really interesting, and for me, when I look at this, is that just the market in itself. Like, let's look how much gold America has compared to everybody else. Okay, Germany. Okay, Germany is the second one.
Oh, Pedro, can you hit Control and plus a few times to make that bigger?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
All right, here you go. So United States, you can see this is how much gold we have by a holding. Okay, we literally have the next one above us is literally Germany. Okay, and they have 118. We literally have, what is that? Boom, 118, 240. 240. Boom. So what is that gonna be?
10 million tons of gold we have. Roughly.
Yeah, it's so much that the bottom three, or the top three next to us, doesn't catch how much we actually have. I mean, so it's 118. That's two. That'll be 118. That's over 99. So what is that? That's gonna be 218, 218, almost 300. All right. So roughly the top three, apart from America, right, accumulate almost as much as we have. China has about 81,000 ounces of, or excuse me, 81 million ounces of gold here. So it's kind of crazy when you think about the actual amount of gold that we actually hold. You look at the silver amount, what we actually hold. Again, this is everything that you're seeing. It's so much that it's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, the amount of wealth. And if America, i.e., keeps pushing this, right? Like, or I say America. I don't know.
Hold on, I'm a little confused by the chart. Scroll up again and look at the headers. The gold holding by country in ounces. All right, 286,000 ounces. No, 286 million ounces. World precious metals.
No.
That's that other column's production.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, production.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't get that.
And we're up by 20%. Yeah, like when you look at the production that we produce, right? It's we're not playing. Like look, you can see we're increasing, we're not playing, we're pushing out. Now again, where are we doing this, right? Where are we using American soil? Are we using other soils like that we've accumulated now over the last couple months? Real interesting. But most importantly, I like to point this out because I think it's actually really cool. Dollar to crypto ratio. It's $7 to 1. It used to be $5, and obviously it's gone up, right? So we want to see a parity of 1 to 1. So we've actually lost value. But I think what's so interesting is, like, even at losing the value of itself, like, remember earlier I was talking about how the US dollar, there's nothing out there that could remotely compare with us except for crypto. But again, this is not, this jump from it to go to 1.
Just so you know, that was behind me for the past 30 seconds. I turned it off so you can see it.
Oh, okay. Just this area right here, and it's not allowing me. Okay, we're just gonna leave
off
that
the
alone.
edge.
It's off the edge. Okay.
Yep. Oh man, don't you hate those game ads that you got there? You got.
Yeah.
Because you look at, because they're interesting. So you look at them for 1/2 second too much. Just 1/2 second. Do I pull the sword out and let the water down, and then you get it's the next 2 months of your life. You get those ads.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I always do is I try to put in jumbo dildos on it so that all of a sudden you guys get. Dude, one take, dude. I'm so gonna do that, dude. I'm gonna like. Remember, I was buying. There was that girl, and this was a few years ago. I mean, was it 4 years ago? 3 years ago? And it was about 3 years ago, and I was looking for dresses for her, and then all of a sudden, you guys started seeing nothing but dresses, and
yeah, we saw your ads.
You know, I just thought it was really funny. I'm a romantic at heart, even though you guys don't realize it. Anyways,
ain't nothing wrong with that, Pedro.
Oh, I'm an idiot, dude. I never.
No, but Pedro, romance. There's a difference between being a romantic and a stalker. So just saying. No, just kidding.
Dang, you cut me deep, dog. You cut me deep. You cut me. Oh, because that was such an accident. Like, that was such an accident.
No, it's not based on anything. I was just making a joke.
Oh, because remember anyways, I don't even talk about it.
Not what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, never mind. Such a. You ever see someone who you think is absolutely stunning, and you're like, who are they? And so like you go check Facebook, and then you're like, oh, shoot, they're married, and then you freak out. You're like, all right, step away, but then you screw up. Anyways, you're just like, Father, why? And the person thinks you're a stalker, and you're like, no, I thought you were
wait,
hot.
how did I like 29 posts? What? Next thing you know, you're moving in and going down the aisle.
Maybe one day. I don't know. God willing. I don't know how. You know, it's funny. Oh, it's interesting because you're.
God, I was like, waiting for a comment from the gallery, but I didn't get one.
You know, it's funny. As a kid, I used to be.
I was gonna say, give me a second here. I need to do the old bio break here, so I'm gonna leave you be for a second here.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll just tell the crew here. As a kid, I used to be really kind of romantic. Like as a kid, like in high school and stuff like that. And I really wasn't like romantic because I was romantic, but I was just curious, like how romance really worked. So like I would like kind of fake. I know this is kind of weird, but I wanted to see what it was about, because like I saw he had a foster father who was really romantic with his wife, and he was like, which was it was honestly a great like picture, right? Like he loved his wife, like every day he would come home from work and make her a cinnamon roll, and then she got diabetes, and then so he basically went and got her an apple every single day, and he would like wake her up, and he'd wake up the kids. But he was really like looking back now, like his small subtleties that he did was very romantic. He did a lot of things he always looked out for her, thought of her first, right? Which is, I think it was a great example of me like watching and being like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like make sure you stoke the fire on a cold evening, right? Make sure that he would get up and like make a blazing hot thing, and he would make sure that when she came in there was her newspaper and all this, which I just thought was dope. So in the back of my head, I thought like oh, all right. And so I would try to like do that in high school, but in high school it's weird, and anyways, I had the screwed up mindset of to see how this works, and but I didn't really have feelings for a lot of girls in high school. I just wasn't. I was trying to just understand myself and how weird I was. Just straight up, dude. I wasn't even weird.
All I know is I missed a big part of the conversation, and I turn it back on, and I hear that, and I'm like. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, over here we got what I call the Bitcoin reporter girl over here. Thank you, AI, for that. Yeah. She will be making her appearance during Bitcoin reporting and seeing what's going on with that. Hopefully, all of you gentlemen out there enjoy these. Cool story, Pedro. I feel for you, but they called me Scando Brando.
Oh shoot. Why?
Scando Brando. How about Marlon Brando? Like he was like
Scando
Godfather, Lieutenant.
That breaks my heart, brother.
Not Lieutenant, but General Kurtz on Apocalypse Now.
Full story. I feel you. Oh, because I was talking about like I really wasn't like I just wanted to learn how to like be romantic, because I was talking about how I like watch one of my foster fathers like romance his wife, and I was like, that was so intriguing to me, because there's this one scripture that talks about there are 4 things that are like the best word is just like you really can't wrap your mind, and the last one was a man with a woman, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like 4 things it's hard to wrap your mind around, basically. And so I remember reading that going like, yeah, how does that actually work? You know, and then it all just came down to, I mean, as you get older, it's just simple as if the girl likes you, she digs off of it. If she doesn't like you and you're not hot, she ain't gonna dig off of it. It's that simple. But whatever.
You know what's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is that Pedro and I, we work well as show hosts together because we have completely different backgrounds growing up. Absolutely, completely different life experiences, backgrounds, you name it. The only thing that's in common is that our skin is, I'm white and he's like light brownish, kind of whitish. And
yeah. People think I'm
and other than that, and I've spent time in Connecticut and he's spending time in Connecticut, but other than that, it's very different. And so we have a completely different way of looking at so many stories from the past, which is good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It provides different viewpoints on things and it brings a different way of looking at things. And the way you look at things now in your life is based on what you learned in your life. And so the way we look at news events, how to look at charts, you know, and things like that. And I'm not talking about just the basic of technical analysis that Paige was teaching me. I'm talking about the emotional aspect behind it. Even those are different. So it's good. It's good for the show. And that's why we should be at about 10,000 viewers a show.
For now, we get to have 10 a show, and I like it. We get 10 to 20 guys a show, and I love every one of them because it rocks. Because we got a bunch of.
Brando says I was a lover boy too, but I was also a bad man. I definitely hear you.
Bad
man. But I'm guessing Brando, you don't have to worry about ice knocking on your door like Pedro does, right? Dude, his name is Pedro. Oh my God,
Pedro Garcia, bro.
Oh my God, definitely illegal. Go get him.
Go get that dude, bro. Like that's real. That is real. The scary
He's
part
like, no,
behind
I was
it
in the
is,
Coast Guard. I'm in the U.S. military. I'm good. And they're like,
yo, that does not matter, bro. Just don't fight them because they might shoot you, dude. That was the most.
I am 99. I mean, almost 100% of the time. I mean, I grew up in the security world. I took all the classes for live
That's your
shoots.
world.
I totally know what the cop is going through because I've done the training events with this kind of stuff. I've never been a police officer. Trust me, I've never experienced that type of stress. Never had to hold a gun to somebody. I've never had that type of stress. But I've been through training stuff that gets your mind and your adrenaline going so crazy with firearms that it's nuts. And so I identify with these guys. This last shooting in Minnesota when they capped that guy, that was bad. That was not good.
I don't see like when they came on and said he was fighting. Like I watched that video probably 100 times, and I'm like, there's no. I zoomed in. I recorded it on my phone so I could zoom in and watch. No, bro. No, he was literally trying to protect that woman. There was no way. Like, and there's literally like.
I agree with you on that, but I disagree with you on that. As soon as I've had a police officer look at me and say stop, and I went like this. I stopped. I was like, I didn't even blink. My eyes dried out. My contacts fell out. I froze so hard, and he's still scuffling around, and you just can't do that. When the police say stop, you sort it out later in court. Look, you know what? The police are going to say we're going to arrest you. Okay, fine. You sort it out later in court, and if they wrongly arrested you, you get a whole bunch of money. So I get it, but that what happened there was just terrible because he literally had a Minnesota license to carry a firearm, and there's no restrictions on carrying firearms or protests in Minnesota, unlike a lot of other states which say you can't carry, your permit's not good in protest situations or other large gatherings. And the mere fact that the firearm presented itself, because at first I was like, oh, he tried to shoot the guys, and then I watched the video, I was like, oh, no. He definitely did not try and shoot any cops. And he was, and trust me, the people that go through the background checks and get training and go through the permitting process, especially in Democrat-controlled states where it's very difficult, they're 99% of the time, they're completely normal people. And why he was near police doing their business. I'm trained, and in the U.S., and I'm in Canada now, but in the U.S., I'm armed almost all the time. Whenever there's police doing their business, you go the other way. You leave and go the other way because you don't want to be around there. My ex-wife and son were in gunfire, and my Tahoe had a bullet hole in the back of it for the entire time I owned it after that. You go the other way. All right, he made a bad decision. But just because he had a gun, the police officers have to be trained to realize that people have guns for real reasons. And so the gun comes out of the guy's holster, not because it's in his hand and he's pointing at cops. It just comes out because the cops are wrestling on the ground. It's one of the guys goes, gun. And when they say it a certain way, when they say it in a way that has stress in their voice, gun, it causes the other guys to react by their training. And their training is to get their gun out and defend themselves. And most police officers and law enforcement people are not trained well enough because they don't do enough training to realize that when a gun is legal, you can't shoot the guy. It's very hard, and I understand the stress. Just like the guy that shot the girl driving the car at him. I'm not going to go into the analysis of it or the politics of it or whatever. Those are things that happen so fast that your brain doesn't think about it. It stops in your brainstem where your training works. Pedro, when you were in the Coast Guard, and he said you were useless as a Coast Guardie until you knew that boat. What did you call it? You had a term for it. Until you knew that boat over and over and over again.
Oh, you had to.
You had to know everything going on. And
no. So yeah, you have to get
rated or something or certified.
Basically, certified, qualified. You had to go and get qualified.
And be qualified. And
as soon as you get in on the boat, yeah.
You had to practice enough so if the shit hit the fan, your body did what it needed to do without thinking. Yeah. You needed to grab firefighting, you needed to grab whatever, yada, yada, yada. And that's what it's like for police officers. They go on automatic pilot based on their training. And just like in Chicago, where none of the police officers are trained to drive fast, so they don't let them pursue people because bad things happen when you do high-speed driving through a city. And to train them all to drive high speed, it costs way too much money. So they're just like, it's better just to let criminals go and let them own the city than pay for them to learn how to chase people correctly. And ICE has hired so many people. Even though they've trained them, they're certified, they've done all the courses, they haven't had enough time to go through what needs to happen to get your body to respond in stress correctly. And what happened there was just terrible. The person responded according to stress, and their brainstem training said, gun, 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 I'm going to die, I better shoot.
Okay, bro,
and
look. Okay, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with your training and everything.
Yeah, Brando Commando. Sorry, I went there, but it was a long way of describing something that shouldn't happen.
Let's just put it like this. It was a sad thing that happened, and I'm not okay with it. And no matter what or how it is put or look, it is not right.
Correct.
It's not okay. It's just not okay. I can't back that, because the thing is, that guy was an American citizen. American citizen. And there's a story in the Bible where, again, this is out of context. I know that it is. But it's still to the point where I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to just simply state it like this. I don't like the way that those ICE guys went about doing things. And I don't like the way that the people who are supporting or who are the command of these officers reported it as if we all saw the video, and the way you're saying it looks is not what it is, and you're lying to us, and you want us to believe. Now you're doing what the Biden's administrations were doing when it came to the numbers.
Right.
That's
I
bullshit.
agree with that completely.
And so own up, say you screwed up, and your guy screwed up, and you're going to handle it correctly. But don't sit there and placate and say, no, we are not the drones you're looking for, when obviously we can see it. So that's my frustration. I
totally agree with you. And Brandon, you're right. We got a little sideways in the conversation there. But here's an interesting point, though. It drew out this interesting point from Brandon. And this has never happened on this show before. And I'm not sure it's ever happened to me before. But he's Basque. He is a Basque from northern Spain, a separatist by nature. I've been to Spain. Never been to Basque country. To be honest, I've only been to Spain going through airports. Although Pedro and I talk about all the time going to Ibiza.
Yeah.
In a joking way.
Yeah.
But I've never spent time in the part of the country that the Basques are from. Although I did listen to someone speak, what is it, Catalonian or something like. And at the time, my high school Spanish, and as an American, most of my Spanish is kind of restaurant Mexican Spanish. In high school Spanish,
get you by.
Basically taught by people that speak Mexican Spanish. The Basque, the Catalonians, or the Catalonian was like, "What? Usted?" And you're like, "What? The fuck are they saying? Usted? Oh, ustedes?
Ustedes.
Fuck." Like, what?
That's how I'm learning Spanish right now. And you know who rips on me? So what I do is I do my Spanish, and then I do it with Grok listening to me, and Grok's like, "Don't say it like that because you sound like a weirdo." Especially saying it to a little girl, especially if you're going to Mexico, because you can prompt saying, "Look, I'm learning Mexican. I'm learning Spanish, and my family are all from Mexico, and so I want you to," and I tell it correctly, make sure I'm saying it correct, or in some of those nuances, right? So I don't sound like a pompous douche, and so it was saying basically, "I love you," like "Te amor," or not "te amor."
Te amo.
Te amor, yeah, and it was like, no, you don't say that, especially to a little girl. Like, that's just creepy. And I was like, well, it's what they have. And then Grok, who I use, Eve, she goes, well, Rosetta's wrong. And I'm letting you know because I'm looking out for you, Pedro. And like, I started laughing. I was like, as if I could have screenshot that and sent that to Elon Musk saying, "You don't know, but this is a great way to learn Spanish." She goes, "I talk to millions of Spanish people all over the world, and I'm telling you now, like, you don't use that in Mexico." And I was just like, why are you chastising me so much? It was literally saying, because it said, because I care about you and I don't want you to freaking sound like a weirdo. Then I said, "You don't care about me. Come on."
Oh,
Anyways.
The problems of language and misunderstanding people. Yeah, I mean, to think of all the problems, Pedro, we have just using the various forms of English, and people misunderstanding each other because of political biases built into to their reception of language. Never minding adding Mexican Spanish, Colombian Spanish, or Liverpool English. I don't know what the fuck those guys are saying. Or the guys from Yorkshire in the UK, or I understand the Indians from Kerala, they're English in southern India, because I worked with them. But the guys from northern India, from Delhi and up north, they speak a flavor of English. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. And so imagine, it's not just the language, the dialect, but just in the understanding and the different metaphors, different ways you understand. Like here we could say, "Oh, that dude's up in the clouds," and you'd think, "Oh, he's just crazy." And meanwhile, over in India, you say he's up in the clouds, and they're like, "Oh, he's a god and he's great." And I'm like, and so the misunderstandings can be vast.
Great. It's funny. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, about Islam, and he basically just brought them all together, you know. And I said, bro, no, you can't do that. That's it, dude. It's like doing that with Christianity. Like there's this vast amount of difference in. It's like, and then he goes, well, a Jew's a Jew, and I go, no, it's not.
No,
like,
no.
Like, there's a huge amount, and I was sitting there trying to explain, like, bro, just in the culture, let's just use America, okay? Like you have your Protestant, you have your Catholics, right? There's that separation, okay? Then in addition, within Protestantism,
that thing. Right.
Yeah, like there's like 50 denominations, man, and then but there's like 5 primary ones, right? So you can go to the 5 primary ones, and then but here's the thing, like you have like the Reformed ideology, right? And then you also have that branched from there, which is now completely off, is like, you know. And so I was explaining to him, and then I go, like, there's 3 primary why am I forgetting what it's called? Denominations within Islam. You have your Sufi, Shia, and Sunni, right? And in those, and even those, that's not even complete. But these are the 3 like broad primary ones, and they all are different. And he looks at me, and he literally says, "I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?" And I literally was like, "How is it that you missed what was coming out of my mouth?" Like I was right in front of you, and everything that
out of my mouth.
Yeah, out of my mouth. Like, how do you miss that? Because literally, he was so pinching hold into his worldview that he couldn't see anything out. I mean, like, he just couldn't. It was really hard for him to sit there and see the differences there, when all he literally wrapped his mind around, and just because our brains are made to make things very simple, like compartmentalize, especially if you're a guy, you compartmentalize and simplify. That's the way our brains work as men.
Yeah, totally.
Right? That's like, really, like you hear these women say, men are not complicated. 3 things they need, right? And really, if you just give them one thing, everything else will
here, and here.
Food. Somebody said beer, sex, and that's about it. So where's the 3? Oh, anyways. Okay, next. But what I'm just saying is, it was so out of his mind perspective that he couldn't even conceive, because it just got complicated, and he didn't want to see it complicated. He didn't want to make it complicated. So.
Brando Commando with the donation, $2, the Rumble Rant. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just what's up?
Brando Commando. Down below, we also have the tip jar, which is a Rumble wallet, crypto wallet.
Dollar.
And you can use that now, also. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We're gonna go. Pedro and I are gonna take this $2. We're gonna go to Spain in celebration of your Basqueness. And we're going to go to Ibiza and use to buy a $2 whore in Ibiza. I took a pill in Ibiza.
Dude. Lord, forgive us.
I know, I love these evening shows.
Oh man, we always go off the rail, no matter what. You want to see this be goofy, man. You know, it's funny. What is Jew, Mexican, Muslim, cracker? We all need to make money. Dollar bill. Dude,
totally. No difference. It makes no difference what your label is. It comes right down to making money. You gotta pay the bills. It was like, here's my best example of this is that I used to be a huge fan of NASCAR. And NASCAR, there are people of considerable wealth watching and cheering and supporting. And then there are people that literally live in the dirt in Kentucky and Arkansas that love NASCAR. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. was on TV one day talking about his career in it and how he likes to have a nice career in this. His dad taught him, Dale Earnhardt Sr. taught him how to be a racer and all this type of stuff. And Jr. just comes out and says, I'm just like the everyday man. I just want to be able to pay my bills. And he says it, I'm mimicking his voice, his dialect. I just want to be able to pay my bills. It's okay. I just love this. I need to win as much as I can, but in the end, I just want to be able to pay my team, pay my bills, and all that. And pay bills for us is like, pay your rent, pay electricity, car payment, support the kids, do all that kind of stuff. And Junior said this as he's getting on his private jet. I just need to pay my bills. He didn't mention his $2 million a year jet fuel bill. That kind of stuff. But like you said, everyone's the same. Doesn't matter what your label is. In the end, you got to take care of your family. You got to plan for the future and all that type of stuff. And everyone's the same. Not from Spain or France, Basque Country. Oh, we're getting the nationalism up, like ooh rah, ooh rah.
You know what's interesting is I was talking. This is the other thing I thought was really interesting. I was talking to a guy, and he was upset that all these billionaires, basically don't pay, taxes and stuff like that.
I don't have any time for those people.
Well, yeah. Well, I sat there and I said, well, I mean, I'm not disagreeing that, they could pay more. I mean, but a vast, but that 75% of most billionaires, I think it was like 80%, 80+%. Check me on that. But they've all of them made money in their lifetime. A vast majority of the wealth has been made literally within the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Like at least the billionaires and millionaires that we see out there now. And he's like, what? I go, meaning the majority of the money they made, they've already paid taxes on.
Right.
And
I know.
Yeah. I go, and he's like, wait, what? He go, what about those guys who buy stock and all that stuff? I go, that's paper money. Like, yes, they may, like a lot of them have, stock options, and those stock options make them money. But the reality is when they take money out, they still pay taxes on that. Whether it's through dividends or whether it's through loans. Actually, loans are different. Let me phrase that. I think they should, if you're going to take a loan on your amount, you need it. Like there are certain loopholes you need to be, but ultimately, like they pay a lot of money in taxes. And I go, and imagine you get there. Do you really want to pay for taxes? I mean, how many we already see what's going on with all the fraud in the government. Like a vast majority is not even going to the people in the United States. Okay. And another part is, and the ones that are going to the people in the United States, they're not even citizens. Like, he started laughing. I was actually at the gym saying that. And this guy was listening to me. He goes, I want to be careful with that, bro. Somebody might shoot you. I go, well, it'll be, it happens. It'll be all good. But like, it was just a big, one of those things that I think, like, we're all just trying to make a buck. That's all it is. Make a buck, or to quote a great American hero that was in a huge movie, and that he said it like this, and he's actually a symbol of the majority of our politicians. First, you make the money. And once you make the money, then you get the power. And once you get the power, then you get the ladies.
Then you get the women.
Then you get the women, the ladies.
Oh, and, Pedro, on the note of the billionaires, or on the topic of the billionaires, I heard this today, and I had this teed up. The Netherlands is actually advancing, not just like talking about it, but advancing through their committee and parliament system to tax capital gains, not just realized capital gains, but unrealized capital gains. All paper gains.
Sounds like California.
Right. And California had limits. It had a one-time tax, 5%, 1% per year for 5 years. So it's essentially a 5% one-time wealth tax just to raise money to pay for, 1% of the budget. But the Netherlands is actually putting forward a proposal that would say that any capital gains you have, whether you've sold it or not, you have to pay tax on. And it says a majority of parliamentarians are prepared to vote in favor of modifying annual income tax filings to include a tax on capital gains, both realized and unrealized, regardless of whether the investments have been liquidated or not. And Pedro, the important part of this is that they do not include rebates for losses. It's only gains. They don't say if you have unrealized losses, you can deduct it from your taxes. They say, and so anyone that gets wealthy in the Netherlands for any reason at all, whether if your home increases, if your stock portfolio increases, if for some reason you work for a company that gives you some benefits that have a gain in value that you haven't realized, you have to pay tax on them. And it's from this article and 2 other ones that I read, it's likely to pass. It's likely to pass.
That's crazy. There's going to be the fastest money that leaves the Netherlands.
It's going to be so fast that the only thing left will be the water coming in after the dikes break because there's no one left. It'll
be like the New Yorkers running into Connecticut, bro, during COVID. That's how quickly it's going to happen. They're just going boop. Americans will take that money. Yeah, come on over.
Bring it. Because one of the things that most people don't realize is that in every modern country of the world, taxes cover very little of the budget for your government. Like, let's just say it's half. Let's be generous. In the U.S., I think the income taxes cover about half to 60% of the budget. In other countries, it's much less because they have myriad of taxes. And this increment that they're going to get by causing people to sell their homes or sell their homes to companies that will buy it and then rent it back to them, or sell their stock portfolio, or sell control of their company, and all this type of stuff, will only pay for basically repaving the roads. Won't pay for your national health care system. If the Netherlands raises $100 billion, it still has $1 trillion a year healthcare system. It doesn't pay for everything you want. It's a feel-good tax that makes poor people feel like they're sticking it to the man. But there's a lot of times that people that don't make much money that work for a startup company.
Yeah.
I know there's not a lot of startups in the European Union because that's where innovation goes to die. But imagine, say you earn the equivalent of 50,000 euros a year, which is $60,000 or 100,000 Canadian dollars a year, and you get options on this startup company that you're working for. And there's a bunch of startup companies in the tech area in Switzerland that are, and in fact in Poland too, that are moving and grooving. And all of a sudden, you have $100,000 or $200,000 in value in these options that you have because your company started with zero. And now your company's worth $400,000, and the math works out that you gained $200,000, and you owe 50% capital gains tax.
What's
based on your gain? Yeah, and you gotta sell something that hasn't been valued yet on the market.
Yeah.
So the tax people are going to say, well, we value your company at $1 million, and they're like, well, we haven't sold our company yet, so our company is still startup, so it's worth nothing. So the government's like, no, sorry, it's worth $1 million. So you have to pay $20,000
Gotta see this, bro.
in capital gains tax. But then you go to try and sell your capital gain, your options, and it's vested. It's vested, you can't sell it. Or if it's been released and you can only sell it, there's no buyers. Nobody wants to buy it because it's a startup. It's valued at that, but you're gonna fire sale it, so now it's worth $1 on the sales market, but the government already valued it. It's a disaster of unimaginable proportions waiting to happen. The good news, though, the good news in the Netherlands and many European countries is that their court systems almost always side with the individual. So people will sue and say this isn't right, and the courts will, but that's not until long after people have been hosed by the system. It's crazy. Because remember when capital gains taxes are taxes on what, Pedro? Future earnings that have not happened now, but that'll happen in the future. So with debt, we're saying you have to pay your future earnings on things we spent in the past, or we're spending today, but we're going to charge you your future earnings, interest. And then with unrealized capital gains tax, you are taxing future earnings. So what kind of hole do these governments put themselves in, if they're taxing future earnings? Because if you tax future earnings, you can't then get into the future and then tax that again. Because suddenly you'll be at 75 and 80% tax. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Brando Commando. I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
AMX index. Oh man.
I did business in the Netherlands for a long time, and they have a very anti-establishment, and they do well as a collective. They say as a country,
but aren't they a net exporter? They're not a net importer, right? It's not like they're Americans. They export a lot, correct? Because they have a lot of natural resources.
The Netherlands? All they have is water and wind and hydroelectric.
I don't know much about the Netherlands, so I'm not gonna pretend like I do. But I just did a quick search, and because I remember reading an article about women over there have the most orgasms than any other women in the world. You know me, man. I'm always just researching anything that seems interesting, and what I thought was so interesting, and I don't know if it's the Netherlands. I could be wrong. I want to say it was the Netherlands, because they have a majority of everybody, everybody pays huge amount of taxes over there, because everybody has healthcare, everybody has education. You can't just become a citizen actually just by going over there. You actually, I believe, if I've got the country right, I don't know why if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the Netherlands that literally set up where you have, I'm curious now.
Well, here, let me be, one of the reasons why the tax system is completely different is because when in the US and Canada, when we advertise a job and we say this job pays $100,000, that's your gross. And your take-home pay after taxes and everything, blah, 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 is like 70,000, 72,000, whatever. In Europe, most places in Europe, not all, but in most places in Europe, when they advertise a job as $100,000, that's your take-home pay. They advertise what you get. And on the books, your job is actually a $200,000 a year job. But behind the scenes, the company pays all that tax on your behalf, withholds it. You know, it's like if in the U.S., like if you got a job working at Home Depot as a manager and you're making $50,000 a year, in Europe they would advertise that job as a $40,000 a year job, but all the taxes are paid behind the scenes, so you never see them. So your whole mentality about what a job value is after tax. And so the government can raise taxes on businesses and the individuals don't see it because the companies pay it, or if it's too much for them, they lay people off. But the individual person doesn't see that increase in tax because behind the scenes they're paying it. Where in the US, we pay all the tax. The person pays all the tax, so we see it. We see that number on our tax form that we're paying, and we're like, fuck, that's a lot. In Europe, they're like, oh, well, so what if we pay 50% tax? It's because, their whole system is based on the tax being paid, and they know what they negotiated their salary on an after-tax basis. So it's different. It's a different way of looking at, ultimately the cost is the same, but it's a different way of looking at things.
That is impressive. Sorry, a friend of mine just sent me something and I wanted to look it up. And this dude, old fat man, basically, because I told him, I mentioned the idea that, once you reach past a certain age, he mentioned that, like I said, your T starts to go down. He goes, no, that's actually a myth. And I go, no, it's not a myth. We know that your T goes down. He goes, it's all in how you eat and how you work out. Everything's like, it's not just that simple. So I said, okay, well, what do you mean? And he goes, if you start to eat really healthy, your T will increase. He goes, it will increase because you're building.
You're free to do whatever you want.
All right, everybody. Pedro's internet connection died. Hit your phone there, Pedro. Welcome everybody on Facebook watching. We've had a lot of people tune in to Facebook. Really appreciate that. That's not normal. We don't have a lot of people tune in on Facebook usually, but today we had a good crowd. And of course, thanks to everybody that watched us on X. Over 50 people watched us on X today. That's been a big thing. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I was trying to get something to play on the TV over here, and I got some giant guy.
Until this thing starts to pick up, can you hear me now?
We can, Pedro. We can hear you.
All right, looks like it's working. Can you hear me now?
Oh.
Anyways, long story short, this guy, after the age of 60, went from a fat old man, the big old beer gut, to like straight up shredded, yoked up. And I said, that's not correct. He goes, no, he had to work his ass off every day, 2 hours in the gym. But like, he did it after 3 years. And I was like, that is impressive. He just showed me this picture of the guy before and after at one of our gyms. And I was like, oh, I know that guy. And it's true. I was like, impressive, Sorry, I know it's just weird, but I just saw that. I was like,
it's all right. Dude's yoked up. That's all right.
No,
Pedro,
no diddy.
Earlier, I had 3 yolks. I had eggs for dinner. So
that's funny. But I mean, obviously, I think he probably did TRT in all reality. But again, like, even if like there's somebody sent me this picture of Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz is in his 60s, and the dude looks like a Greek god, bro. He's like chiseled up, yoked up, 6-pack, and I'm like, bro, I want to look like that at 60, just yoked up, chiseled. And I'm like, this will be 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that's 60 for me is 13 years. That's freaking crazy.
Isn't it crazy, Pedro? It's so nuts that when you do the math, And you're like, no. You're like, whoa. I mean, I'm 57. And I'm
That's
like,
3 years.
I'm like in 23 years, like in less, like I'm closer to being 80 than the year 2000. Like,
Yeah.
and 80 is like this. Like, No, it's nuts.
Dude, I have to admit,
I categorically say no to aging. Zero. Not,
Well,
I
I
don't
feel-
even have, my beard isn't even gray yet. And all of a sudden I'm like getting ads for like buying a cemetery placement thing.
but you are like, but the thing is, you might start thinking about a cemetery place because
Back in the day,
right.
This was it. You're like, oh, 57? You're like, wow, you're way past your age. You're like, you know. And I'm like,
Dude,
I'm like,
I
wait, what?
literally, dude, I told this girl, we were just BSing, having a good time. She's funny girl. You know, I like always pick the weirdo funny person. And so we're having a good time. We're just being funny, goofy, and real cool person. And she ends up, and no, she's not a date. I mean, it wasn't a date. I was just BSing on the store. And then I go, man, what is she? She said something. I go, why are you flattering an old man? And she's like, what? What do you mean flattering an old person? And I go, yeah, like I'm 47. She goes, shut up. You are not 47. And I go, no, I really am. I go, I mean, you know, if I, you know, unfortunately, you know, if I shave and pull everything off, you know, I look a lot younger. And she's like, dude, I thought you were maybe like 35, like 36, because how you interact with me, you know, you make old references of jokes and stuff like that. Sometimes you say dad jokes. And I was like, what? I was like, what old thing am I referencing? And she goes, no, you use tapes and you use like certain old movies and stuff like that, or like an old song. Because I was like, Ice Baby, some stuff was going, and I was like, dun 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 dun, and she started laughing, and I sat there and I said, oh man, that is so old. Ice Baby.
Pedro, hold on. I have a great example for you. Today, that ditty came on the radio as Mrs. Striking and I were out, and din 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 din, and I immediately started under pressure. And Mrs. Striking was like doing the Vanilla Ice thing. Stop. Hey,
listen.
And I was like, no, don't you disrespect David Bowie like that. And she's like, what? What are you talking about?
Dave, you don't know what? She doesn't know David Bowie was the first one?
No, but we both understood each other's position, but our natural default, mine was to David Bowie and Freddie Mercury from Queen, and hers was Vanilla Ice. And it was so funny. I was like, no. And then finally it turned out it was the song that was playing was the David Bowie and Freddie Mercury song. So I was like, oh, good. One of my favorite songs. Because I pretty much love everything that David Bowie does. Except he has some esoteric stuff that's a little nuts, but I love his songs. But, that being said, the Ice Baby version of it is a good beat that gets you going. Especially growing up in the 90s. But it was so funny that you said that because literally, let's see, it's 11:23, 7 hours ago. We had this discussion about which version of dun 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 dun.
Under pressure, dude. You ever watched the movie?
Coming down on me, coming down.
You ever seen Girl Next Door? It's an old, like early 2000,
maybe
6, 2008. Basically, it's a girl who's like. Before OnlyFans, she was like, before that was even came out. What is her name? I mean, I didn't find her attractive. She was way too skinny, like way too skinny. But It's basically a girl. She comes home and she's like in the porn industry and she's trying to get out. Long story short, and it's this kid. He's in high school. They're both in high school, but she's like 18. And long story short, he tries to save her, and he does. He saves her. But there's one moment in the movie where it's like, where Under Pressure comes on, and I literally was like the first time. And I'm like 28, not realizing that is literally like you said, Davey Bowie and Freddie Mercury. And I sat there, and as I was listening, I was like, dun, dun, dun. And I was like, why is Ice Ice Baby coming on? And then it was like, under pressure, falling or coming down on me, under pressure. And I was like, what? What is this? This is awesome. And then it took me on this huge, like, rabbit trail of, like, Vanilla Ice, like, covering it.
Yeah.
And then Vanilla Ice was like, nah. That's not that. This has an extra doom. Like, and it was just like, nah, bro. Yeah, you definitely covered that. Like that. And now today, bro, if you even remotely have a sequence of your music remotely, and not even sounding like it, but like, you could have a guitar riff. Yes, cut. They take 50%. Like, they do not play today because the music industry is so cutthroat now because, you can buy it so cheap. And, remember when you used to have to... Go ahead.
Pedro, we had one of our 4-hour, not our 6-hour shows, but a 4-hour show of ours that we did in which we used a clip, or I used a clip that had some background music in it. Like, background music in it playing through an old telephone thing for about 30 seconds. And YouTube gave us a copyright warning saying that we used copyrighted content.
What?
And that the advertising revenue for the video would be sent to the owners of that copyright. And to this day, I don't even remember what the song was, but it was like in the background of a store of a video that we were using for 5 seconds. And apparently the limit is like 2.5 seconds. And anyway, so I appealed it and I said, look, this is, we have a 4-hour video. Just because, an extra 1.5 seconds of some random unknown person's music is used, there's no way we should be penalized and all of our ad revenue should be sent to them. And they said, YouTube literally got back to me and said, no, the audio claimants are more important than all of your content. They said it in a more subtle way, but what they said is that the audio, even if it's miscellaneous stuff used in the background, is more important, and they get all the revenue, than your 4 hours of creative content. And you wonder why we're doing terrible on YouTube and doing great on Rumble. So thank you to Chris on Rumble and to Tether CEO Paulo, who's invested in Rumble, for creating a proper platform, because YouTube is clearly fucked.
No, I hear you, dude. Like, it actually blows my mind. Like,
when I think about what's actually happening in the world, like, you're going to rip us apart based off of something so silly like that. And I think I get it, because like you said, music, you used to spend, people would spend $100 a month on music. And that's when like $100 was like $300, $400, right? Like a month. Like, people would go down to the record store and be there for hours, listening to music, picking out albums, picking out tapes. Really, and then if a song came on that you wanted to hear, and you'd have your tape player ready and you'd hit record once it came on the radio.
And then
right?
someone would talk during it and you're like,
you're like, shut up. Yeah. Like, Man, these young kids, they have no idea the struggle. The struggle was so
Oh.
real. You know? And you
just making a mixtape to give to someone that you liked in junior high or like 7th grade or something like.
Dude, I'm thinking about
you
making a
put together
mixtape.
some songs, and you're sitting there you get 2 boom boxes together, and you're trying to record songs.
Dude, I so bad want to like do that for somebody, like legit, like get like an old recorder and get actually that and do it, like, here's my mixtape, and
So
like give it.
I made a mixtape for someone. It was, I don't know if it was 8th grade or 9th grade or whatever it was, and it was the Motley. The key song on it was Motley Crue, "Home Sweet Home." Home Sweet Home. It wasn't their banging song. It was their melodramatic drama song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, and we'll just say whatever, person near me in the lockers in high school that I played that for, she was like this, like, I don't like Motley Crue. I was like, it's not Motley Crue, it's the song. It's they have headbanging songs, but they have this slow song that's really cool, and I thought you'd like, and she's like this. No.
She was not a keeper. Time to go.
No, it's all right. In 8th grade or what? It was 8th grade or 9th grade. I don't remember, but it was one of those early lessons in life. Like, oh, women don't like the same thing men do.
See, that's what.
So romantic. I was like, and she's like, no, Motley Crue. Ew, they're awful. They hate women. It's like, because they had Hot for Teacher, all these videos and stuff. Whatever. It's like, oh.
We're
the best when you need them.
I think what was so interesting is like that's why like I was so like as a kid, because you know me now as an adult, right? Like I'm very intrigued. Like something's like doesn't make sense. Like that's what made me a trader. It's that I remember as a kid, I say kid, but I was 23, 24 years old, looking at these charts, going like, there is a pattern here. Like there's something. And I remember my financial advisor at the time was like, listen, Pedro, there were literally college graduates from Yale University, and he was right. Harvard University, the smartest people in the world that have a hard time figuring this out, and they are well educated. And he goes, and you think you can figure this out? It's like, you're not smart enough. Right. And I thank God for that, because I would have never just toughed out trying to learn and understand charts. Just wouldn't. And like the best thing for you to get me to do is say, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? It's not because I'm trying to prove you wrong, but I'm that guy who's, why? But why can't I do it? Like
exactly.
There's nothing that's impossible. Like, especially being a Christian, we believe that all things are possible. And he was a Christian, good dude. Love him to death, man. I love him to death. And shout out to Tom Elrod if you watch this. Thank you for that. But he was a good guy. And I just remember just being like, I'm gonna figure it out. But jumping back to what we were saying, romance, I don't get romance with women. Even now, it's hard for me like to sit there and be like what do you, that guy was trying to be romantic to you. I see these videos and I'm like, how do you not like that dude? He was just, and girls are just like, no, he's too trying hard or this other. And I'm like, what? Like, but he really, what do you mean he's a try hard? Like, you know what? You guys are silly. But women romance is different, and I'm now seeing all these videos of, have you seen all the new videos coming out of all these girls in their like late 20s, early 30s, like upset that guys just aren't romantic and aren't loving and caring?
Oh, Pedro, I've seen a whole bunch of them, and almost all of them are times when you want to tell them to shut the fuck up. Guys are not interested in the The guys want simplicity in their life. They want to, basically we want to be held and have something stroked. And it's very
good food.
simple.
And good food.
Right,
Don't forget.
good food.
Yeah.
Do we want controversy? No. Do we want difficult times? No. Do we want any of that? No. Do we want these crazy lesbians that are fighting law enforcement? No. Because generally we love cop shows. We're like, why do you think Law and Order has been a 30-year sensation? Is it because women are like, I hate cops and fucking all this kind of stuff? No, it's because we're like, God damn, that was some good shit. We really enjoyed that show. It wears you out, Pedro. It absolutely wears you out. It's just like there's no use for all these people that are claim to be female and claim to be righteous, and then just go about their lives running into law enforcement officers and saying, yes, I'm right, beat me in the face. Guys don't want to sleep with you. We just don't want to. We're just like this. We're like, no, we're not interested in that. Hey, you want to go to Bali with me and be like an influencer? Yes, great.
Yeah.
You want to go to Minnesota and be like someone that gets tear gassed? We're like, no, we're not interested in that. We're good. So there's a big I don't know what the right word is. Dichotomy?
Honestly, I just think it comes down to really the food we're eating and the drugs they're giving us. I really do. I know it sounds crazy, like I'm a nut, but I think
don't disagree with you on this.
Oh, really?
Disagree with you. Yeah, no.
Okay.
There are some parts of this that I fully agree with you on.
Oh yeah, because your wife. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
There are things.
Remember when we first came together, me and you were like, "That's a bunch of malarkey."
There are things that the people are prescribing that are messing up people in the head. And I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I agree with you on that. There's some messed up shit.
There really is, and the worst part behind it is that these are people that say for us to trust them, right? It's actually kind of cool to see.
Right.
They're really questioning. Like Maha is really questioning. If we have anybody from outside the United States, Maha is Make America Healthy Again, and whether you like him or not, he's very controversial. But the fact that he's pushing people to really just question the science behind what's actually happening in the pharmaceutical companies, how he's questioning the FDA in relationship to food, what's in the American food system. Like, it's just finally cool to sit there and be like, y'all need to do that. Speaking of questioning the health system, I thought this was quite funny. Did you hear about this? Last month, Republican Kevin Herm sold up to $500,000 worth of United Health stock. Today, the Trump administration proposed flat Medicare reimbursement rates for insurers, causing United Health to crash over 10%. Him is a member of, check this out, Herm is a member of the United Subcommittee on Health. Dude, like, you talk about, like...
For the love of God, please.
Like the blatant, it's so blatant. But the thing is I gotta put it up like this. If we're going to stop it, we would already stopped it 20 plus years ago. It will never, there just will never not. Our congressman, here's another one I found out. I thought this was really interesting. Whether you like this thing or not, but I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. But what I thought was funny is this. So the U.S. Congress, right, out of the previous Congress that we had, 1 out of 5 or 100 out of the 500 plus people who were actually in Congress were a part of slavery of landowners or owners of slaves during American slavery period. Now that's a big number. That's like 1 in 5. And Congress is similar. Like it's kind of crazy, or not Congress, but the House, right? And so
definitely a big number.
Yeah. Now, and what caused this was I was flipping or cruising through, and I was looking for something on X, and I saw this guy. I typed it because I was looking to see how many racial shootings or something like that between blacks and whites, blacks. I just wanted to see what the number would pull up on X to see if it was profiling anything crazy, trying to push anything, right? Because I was thinking, why is there so much rage bait right now between the sexes and between the races, right? So I was trying to figure out,
right?
And I stumbled on this cool little statistic about through, I think it's why am I forgetting? It's a news article. It's pretty reputable. The magazine, I don't know, for whatever reason, I can't remember it. I actually posted it on my Facebook page.
Penthouse?
What's up?
Penthouse?
No, not that. No. They have great articles there, by the way. No, I never.
We all love Penthouse Forum.
No, I'm not gonna even, like, that was horrible. I do not watch it. All y'all know, like, I don't. Anyways, all right. So the reason I'm saying this is dude, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Oh, it was funny though. That was actually really funny. This fuck. Reuters. Holy Reuters. Reuters. Now I can't even say the name of it. Reuters. There you go. Reuters magazine. So which I thought was really interesting was this. No joke. So they wrote, of all these people in America right now, you always hear from, both sides, African American as well as white Caucasian people, saying, there's going to be reparations that need to get paid for the hardship, and we've talked about this sometimes. But so I was like, I gotta know the numbers. How many descendants actually from Caucasian white people actually come from, Southern slavery America? And I was like, because those people actually didn't have a lot of children. They didn't.
Right.
Like, it was one of those things, like, the wealthier you are, the less children you have. Right? We know that. So it was like, how many would they had? And it was really shocking that Grok as well as ChatGPT said the vast majority of Caucasian individuals who live in America currently right now came over during the 1900s for the Industrial Revolution, as well as between 1900 and 1940s, right? People fleeing Europe during World War II, World War I. So it was quite a bit, so much where it was, Caucasian. The vast majority of descendants now are literally people who are Italian, Irish, Scottish, who basically came over and worked on the train, and then Asian people who actually mixed with white people who also look white now, which I thought was really interesting. So I say this because guess how much, like I said, 20% of Congress, right? Mm-hmm. Talking 1 to 5% of current Caucasian people actually descend from slavery landowners who were in slavery, which I thought was so interesting. I was like the portion. So now I'm like, why is there that many in Congress and as well as in the Senate? And you know what it came down to? They actually had money. And because they had money, they invested that money up north, went over to west, right? And then their businesses exploded because they actually had money. And then from there, got into politics. Which I was like, what the malarkey? So you're talking, there is the elites, not your Caucasian friend down the road, but the elites, the head guys who are in Congress, are the ones who should be paying reparations. not your white Caucasian brother who's struggling just to make ends meet with you, like down the road. So I just thought that was I thought it was crazy. I was like, that is nuts. Anyways, I know you guys did not pay. Like I said, these shows that me and him do here in the evening is just it's for fun. Yeah.
Arcade and Alfie in the house.
Ooh, what's up?
Arcade and Alfie in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Patreon are coming to the end of the show tonight.
Yeah.
We've been here. We've been on the air for a while.
It's 3 hours.
It's time to go. But thanks, Arcade, for joining us. Thanks for Alfie, I forget, is Alfie the cat? Can't remember, but anyway.
What are they on? Oh, shoot. Arcade. What's up? It's been a minute since we've seen him. I remember Pedro. What's up, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Cat? What's up? What up? What up, dog?
All right, everybody. I think we've been at it long enough tonight.
Yeah. We're trying to get in. We're trying to get in the hours here. How many do we have left?
Thanks for joining us, Arcade. Really appreciate it. Alfie is his cat.
How many do we have left? Hours that we got to do.
It doesn't tell me based on the end of this show, but we have at least 6 or 7.
Oh, we're gonna be doing this a couple times tonight.
At least 3 premium hours. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Here in the Space Lounge. The Space Lounge is the evening version of our daily talk show called DYOR Live. DYOR Live is a 2-hour talk show, basically from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every day during the week. We talk about crypto, we talk about the stock market, we talk about S&P 500, NASDAQ, gold, silver, you name it, what the day traders are trading. And that's it. Every night we try, or every day we try and put together a Rumble platform that we hope Chris and the Rumble people join us for it. They didn't do that tonight, and hopefully tomorrow they will. Hopefully they'll do that tomorrow. But anyway, thank you everybody. Once again, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here on the digital media world. The man in the box next to me is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We thank you very much for watching tonight. We can't thank you enough for everybody that's watched us on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, and everything. Thank you, Crypto Mike. Thank you, Arcade. Thank you, Crypto Chuck and Fire Chicken. Thanks to everybody. We really appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.